Saving Cosmo, Book 9. Grandma Sadie's secret science lab. We didn't slow down until we got to Grandma Sadie's house. I'm sure the Mala folks will be snooping around there before long, Grandma Sadie said. We need to hide the cart. Pipper, will you and Claire get the chop from the shield? We're on it, I said. I knew I needed both hands, so I put Cosmo down on the lawn. He still looked frank and light green. I'll be right back, I told him. Claire followed me as I jogged around the side of the house to Grandma Sadie's backyard. I weaved through the Grandma Sadie's collection of Grandma's gum. There must be 100 of these ugly things, Claire said. 34, I told her, and I think they're cute. I've almost tripped 3 times, Claire said. That's the opposite of cute to me. I pulled open the shed door. Look, there's the trap, I said. Claire and I lugged it back over the garbage behind. Careful not to trip over any gum. Grandma Sadie and Eric helped us cover the shopping cart. I scooped up Cosmo and gave him a quick hug. Good job waiting for me. We'll get you healthy in no time, I told him. Where's the secret lab? Claire asked. I'll show you, Grandma Sadie said. We walked to the backyard. Grandma bent down and pulled off her left shoe. You want us to take our shoe off before we go inside? Eric asked. My parents have the same rule, Claire said. But can we at least wait until we're inside the front door? I don't want my socks to get dirty. Everyone can keep their shoes on, Grandma Sadie said. She pulled up the eyelet of her shoe, and then she pulled out a tiny brass key. Grandma Sadie slipped over her shoe back on and walked over to the steps by the back door. But she didn't go up the step. She bent down next to the garden gum that sat beside the bottom step, and she tipped back its little red hat. I didn't know their hats came off like that, I said. They usually don't, Grandma Sadie said. This one is special. Underneath the hat was a small keyhole. Grandma Sadie inserted the key she'd taken out from her shoe. The steps flipped backward and turned into a stairway that led underneath the house. Well, Eric said. Well, I'll be, Eric said. I was speechless. Claire's mouth was hanging open, but she didn't say anything neither. Grandma Sadie jogged down the step, and the rest of us followed. When we got to the bottom of the stairs, flipped back up so they were flush with the ceiling. I got Cosmo down on a chair and looked around the room. Cosmo gurgled at me. Will he be safe here? I asked Grandma Sadie. We're all safe down here, Grandma said. You can't see a trace of this room from the backyard. You can't even hear any noises from it. Everything is soundproof. Whoa, Clara said. She stepped deeper into the room, and so did I. There were velveties, overstuffed chairs, and a big wooden desk piled high with paper on the far side of the room. There was a lab table covered with beakers full of different substance. A pink one as bubbling like a brook, a blue one was as still as a lake, an orange one was steaming like a geyser, and a green one was swishing back and forth like ocean wave. First, let's get Cosmo some food. Last time he ate, maybe he's just hungry. I can sneak upstairs and get something to eat, Eric offered. Grandma Sadie told him we have everything we need right down here. She opened up the small fridge and pulled out meat and cheese and a hamburger bun. But how will we cook it? I asked. I don't see a stove. We don't need one, Grandma Sadie said. For a second, I was worried. She was planning to serve us raw meat, which is not safe for anyone to eat, even pets made out of slime, buzzing burners. She said Grandma heard a few handles and used a metal tool that made sparks to light a metal tube standing on her lab table. The frame was smaller than the kind on the stove, but it was bigger than a candle frame. Grandma set up a metal rack over it and put a pan on top. Within minutes, the burger was sliding in the pan. Who wants cheese? Grandma Sadie asked. Me, Clara said. You've got it, Grandma said. Eric? I wish I could, Eric said, but I'm allergic to dairy. I gave him a sad smile. I know what it's like to have allergies. I can't be around any cute or fluffy pets because I'm allergic to them. That's why I'm so lucky to have Cosmo. While she made our food, Grandma also made a tiny version of her Bunsen burger just for Cosmo. Where you go, boy? Eat up, I said, setting his burger in front of him. What are all these photos on your wall? Clara asked. Just a few things. That inspired me, she said. Come over here, Pip squeaked. I want you to see my gallery. Grandma Sadie swept an arm towards the wall, decorated with framed photo. This is Albert Einstein, who came up with the world's most famous equation, Grandma Sadie said. Energy equal the mass of an object times the speed of light square. What does that mean? I asked. It means no matter how small an object is, it contains a tremendous amount of energy, she told me. Like Cosmo, I said. Sort of. She moved to the next picture, and here's gallery. It was a scientist, an astronomer who helped develop the scientific method. This is Sally Ride, Grandma Sadie went on. She was physical and an astronaut as the first American woman in space, and his insult Newton. He came up with a law of Monte that says for every action there's an equal and often reason, and over where we had leader Da Vinci, I said. He was one of the most famous artists in the world. He painted the Mona Lisa, the Last Supper, and a lot of other things. Why do you have a picture of an artist in your lab? He was one of the most famous artists in the world. He painted He's the most famous for his artwork, Grandma Sadie said. But people aren't just one thing. Dad Vissy sure wasn't. Besides being an artist, he also an energy, an inventor, an architect, and bosun, and method, and writer, and a mathematic, and a scientist. Whoa, I said. What about all these pictures of Mom, Dad, and me? I asked. I know there are a lot of things too, but we don't know scientists. Maybe not Grandma Sadie said, but you three are my greatest inspired. She gave me a squeeze. The ring of Jupiter. Cosmo hadn't even touched the burger, and he was still a light shade of green. This was a bad sight. If he's not hungry, what could be wrong with him? I asked. I'm not sure yet, Pipsqueak. Grandma said, yeah. I'll get my tea scoop and check him out. How do you have a tea scoop? Clara asked. You're not a doctor. So listen to internal sounds, Grandma Sadie exclaimed. Sometimes it's Icarus things in space that alien, Clara interrupted. Grandma Sadie gave a little smile. I found the stethoscope to be a very helpful tool, she said. She pulled one out of the drawer and scooted closer to Cosmo. His little green body started to tremble. Don't worry, I won't hurt you, I told him. I won't, will it, Grandma? Of course not, she said. We harm up the flat part of the stethoscope, which is called the bell, with her playing just like they do at the doctor's office. Then she put it on Cosmo's little body. First his front, then his back, his sides, the top of his head, and his belly. Is he okay? I asked anxiously. Hold on, Pipsqueak, Grandma Sadie said. I still need to take some measurement. I placed nervously as Grandma continued her exclamation. Hey, Eric said. Why don't you tell me more about Cosmo? I could tell he was trying to distract me and cheer me up. I made him out of a smile, I said. I used my regular slime recipe, which is glue, baking soda, and my mom's contact lens solution. Plus, I used red and blue food coloring because they make purple. And purple is my favorite color. And then he just came to life, Eric asked. Not exactly, I said. I looked over at Grandma Sadie to see if I should say the next part. She nodded. Grandma Sadie gave me a bottle of space dust, I said. And first, it looked just like a regular old Earth dust. But when I woke up in the middle of the night, I noticed it was glowing. When I opened the bottle, the dust flew on and landed on Cosmo. That's when he came to life. Incredible, just incredible, Eric said. I'd heard there was space dust with magical powers floating in Cosmo. But I didn't know anyone had actually found it. Of course it's not actually magic, Grandma said. That's right, Eric agreed. A lot of things seem like magic before we understand them. And I'm sure someday we'll understand what you make space dust. act like it does. But even then, it'll still seem pretty amazing, to be honest. I didn't even believe that space doesn't exist, Grandma Sadie said. Of course, I'd also heard about rumor about it, so I figured it out. Just a myth, like one about the moon being made out of cheese. The moon is made out of cheese, I asked. No, of course not, Eric said. If it were, I'll be allergic to it. But I've been to the moon 11 times, and I never even had upset stomach there. Anyways, back to the space dust. Right, Grandma Sadie said. I'd gone on a mission to Jupiter to collect specimens from the rings. Saturn is the planet with rings, Clara said. Saturn does have rings, Grandma Sadie agreed. But so do Uranus, Saturn, and Jupiter. Jupiter has 3 rings, all are made up of mostly of dust. And right there, in the center of the middle ring, I noticed that the dust was shimmering a little differently, and I thought maybe, just maybe, I rumbled they were true. It was hiding in plain sight, Eric said. So to speak, Grandma Sadie said, I collect the specimen and brought it back to Earth. And that's the point. I didn't know that power the dust would have. She gave Cosmo head a pat. My guess is we haven't seen all it can do. You heard that, boy, I asked. You probably have even more powers. Cosmo smiled weakly. When you have something with untapped powers, you want to keep it somewhere very safe, Grandma Sadie said. That's why I gave the dust to Pipper. That doesn't make sense, Clara said. No, often. But Pipper is just a kind. I know, Grandma Sadie said. And I'm sorry, Pip squeaked. What are you sorry for? I asked. I thought the dust would be safe with you and would just be me silvering from space. I had no idea saving it. I would realize your safety, Grandma Sadie shook her head. Sadly, I didn't know what to say. Grandma set down her stethoscope. Well, he sounds all right, but there's still something off. Let me get my skill. Hey, Eric said, trying to cheer me up again. Is anyone in the mood for a dessert? I saw some astronaut ice cream on the shelf over there. Here are some things I know about astronaut ice cream. It's freeze-dried, which means the water has been stuck out of it. It's thicker and thicker than regular ice cream. It's not as good as regular ice cream, but it's still tasty. The reason I know these astronaut ice cream facts is that Grandma Sadie brought some back for me to taste for space trips ago. I'll have some, Clara said. What about you, Sadie? Eric asked. Let's try giving my share to Cosmo, Grandma Sadie said. Eric tore open a pack of astronaut ice cream and broke it into parts. It breaks like a stale bread, but actually melts once you put it on your mouth. Want a taste, Cosmo? I asked. I held out a piece of chocolate astronaut ice cream. Cosmo sniffed it. Then he shook his head. I don't understand something about it. This whole magic space stuff thing, Clara said. Why is Cosmo alive for us, but not for other people? I think Cosmo is becoming less shy, but he still only comes alive for people he thinks are safe, I said. Right, Grandma Sadie? It's the best explanation I've come up with, Grandma said. Cosmo is a great jug of character, but Clara said. But what? I asked. Well, the truth is, I wasn't always kind to you, Pipper. I went to your backpack without asking, and then I lied about it. Yeah, you did, I said, but I forgive you. Still, that wasn't kind, Clara said. And what was the same day Cosmo turned alive for me? Look at what you've done for Pipper today, Grandma Sadie said, and for me, and for Cosmo. Seems to be that Cosmo always knew you had it in you, I said. Clara smiled quietly, looking at her feet. Grandma Sadie carried Cosmo over to a table covered in beakers. Pipper, Clara, can you clear these off so I have some room to work? She asked. We nodded. Clara picked up the beaker with the blue stuff in it. I picked up the one with the pink stuff in it. Careful, Grandma Sadie warned. Cosmo have an anxiety, girl. I didn't mean to scare you, Grandma Sadie told him. I just need to run a few more tests. She placed him on a skull. Number pop up. She said. Grandma Sadie stuck tiny little sticker to Cosmo and then contacted the sticker to rise. She looked at a black screen with a bunch of lies and green words on it. What are you getting? Eric asked. 17 over 11, Grandma Sadie said. 14 and 9. Oh, Eric said. I did not like the way it sounded when he said, oh. What's wrong? I asked. Cosmo measurements aren't adding up, Grandma Sadie said. Is that bad? She didn't answer. I knew what no answer meant. It was bad. Maybe it was even very bad. Could it be the difference in gravity? Eric asked. What about gravity? I asked. Jupiter's gravity is 2.4 times the Earth's, Grandma Sadie said. I don't understand, I said. Me neither, Clara said. You're about 2.5 times heavier there than you are on Earth, Grandma Sadie exclaimed. It's affecting Cosmo and making him sick. So what if we dress Cosmo in some really heavy clothes? I asked. My snowsuit is heavy. So are my winter boots? I wish it were that easy, Grandma Sadie said. The clothes might change, the number on the scale, but number core weight would still be lighter than it should be. He didn't eat very much today, Clara said. That could affect his weight. Oh yeah, I said. He didn't touch the burger or the ice cream. Maybe he just needs to eat more. I know he loved Oreos. He ate every single one in my lunch the other day. Do you have any down here? I don't, Grandma Sadie said. But Cosmo a lack of hungry. He's a sip tom. No problem, huh? The reason he's not eating it because his number are off. Not the other way around, Grandma Sadie said. So what can we do? I asked. I think there's only one thing to do, Eric said. Yes, it looks that way, Grandma Sadie said. What? I asked. What's the one thing? Whatever it is, we'll do it, Grandma Sadie. I didn't answer. What? I said louder. This time we have to send Cosmo to life on Jupiter, she said. Is Cosmo on his way to outer space? Find out in My Slime Pet, Saving Cosmo, Book 10.